Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell on Praise 104.1 FM. It's your girl, Ronette Harrison, and I'm filling in for Cheryl Jackson. I have a very special couple in the studio with me today. They are Alfred and Sherelle, better known as Forever Duncan. What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Sing it.
No, please don't encourage that. Please
yes,
don't
Lord,
encourage
rain
that.
down on me, Jesus.
Don't encourage it.
Yes, God.
Don't feed
Yes,
it.
God. Moisten the cords, Jesus.
Don't feed it. It won't grow.
Thank you all so much for being here today. You all know that Cheryl Jackson is down in Vegas doing her thing right now with the Stellar Awards and all the events surrounding that. So thank you so much for being able to meet with me today.
No problem.
Absolutely. So I found out about Forever Duncan. It was fall of 2016 when they absolutely flooded the Facebook timeline, Instagram timeline, and I mean all social media with that beautiful, beautiful surprise wedding for the bride. Keyword surprise wedding. We're gonna get to that in a second. So can you tell me a little bit about how you all met? Don't get to the wedding part yet, but how you all met.
Woo. So
make it short. Don't you know? Come on now.
I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best. So I knew of my wife, but I didn't know my wife. I really didn't like my wife. I didn't like what I knew about my wife then, you know. Okay. And so we met through a mutual friend. And long story short, when I started paying attention to my wife, was she gained over, she was over 300 pounds, and she became depressed. Wow. And then she went on social media and she recommitted herself to God, and she also committed herself to a fitness journey, and she just bared her soul on social media. So you did all of that on social media? Yes.
Yeah, I put up just to hold me. Thank you to help hold me accountable. Right. Because I'm the type of person where I have an addictive spirit. So if I see that people are holding me accountable, then I won't slide, especially from what I came from. You know, I came from, trying to kill myself, a depression, being an alcoholic, a bad relationship, all of those things. So I was still fragile. So I needed some support. And I knew that I've always had support from my social media community. So I said, you know what? I'm going to reach out. I'm going to make myself vulnerable, and I'm going to do something that I never would have done a few years ago. And I'm going to put myself on social media as a 300-pound woman crying for help, and also saying that I'm not going to look like this for long. So
what she didn't know is she introduced herself to her future husband.
Come
That's
on now,
what she didn't know.
Listen, he's a miracle worker.
So I started paying attention to her at that point, and I started just falling in love with the person that she was becoming, not the person that she was prior to that. So, but our relationship has been ups and downs. You might want to tell that part.
We started talking when we both became available.
Keep it short, right?
And so, Jesus, get him, God. So we started talking, and he just got out of a 5-year relationship. So he was emotionally unavailable. Okay. But I started falling in love with him because I thought he was corny, though. The glasses he had, I never dated someone with glasses. It was just a lot for me to deal with physically.
But you fell in love with me in a matter of 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks I fell in love with him. And it was just little small things. He would ask me, who do you like better, Martin or Will Smith, or blue now and later or yellow now and later, or fish or shrimp? And I'm like, why does he care? But it was pulling something out of me, like he wants to know the depth of me, not just who I was or who I appeared to be to the community and to the entertainment field, but who am I for real? Like, who are you? And so I just fell in love with him. And it was hard because he was a very honest man. I had prayed, God, the next man, just let him be honest.
I'm sorry, I was saying my own prayer.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. Look, I said, just let him be honest.
Yes.
If he can be honest, I could deal with
rare.
everything else. Yes. And he was completely honest, like to the point where one time I told him that I have fallen in love with him and I love him. And girl, this man looked me right in my face and told me,
listen, I would really appreciate if you don't tell me that anymore.
It makes me uncomfortable. Let me tell you something.
I have the shock face in the studio.
The devil worked all up and through me, honey, because I said some things that I shouldn't have said. Exactly. But you know what? It made me respect him.
Yeah.
I never had that before. So it's like, okay, I prayed for this, but am I really ready for it?
So wait, let me pause you right there. Why was that your response?
Because when I got out of my 5-year relationship, I realized that it was some things that I was compromising in all of my previous relationships. And it was a lot of me that I was compromising. And so I told myself that the next relationship that I be in, I'm going to be completely naked and unashamed. I'm going to be exactly who I am. I'm going to say exactly how I feel. And if that person can accept it, then that person is the one for me. If they can't accept it, then I just have to move on. So in that point in time, I had to tell her that because it really made me feel uncomfortable. Like if you tell a man I love you and he's not there yet, you know,
that obligation to
it's the obligation to say it back, or it's the obligation to say something, you know, and you just, and I don't want to play that game. Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly. So I just wanted to tell her the truth. So that's what I did from that point on.
Running theme of you both working on yourselves, and finding each other in the process. Okay, so back to you. So he told you shut that down.
He shut that down, and so that was, I think that was the third time we went through I was in a relationship with him before he was in a relationship with me. That's how, you know how we make up in our mind. This is my dude. This is my man. Yeah. And he like, nah, we cool. We just chilling, you know. But in my mind, I was just waiting for him to join me.
We just chilling.
Yes, girl. That's what it was. Right. But he was very kind and very, very gentle with me, but also very honest. So it wasn't like, you know, he was being mean. It was more so about, this is what you prayed for. Here it is.
Right. And my chill was different from what the chill is, the standard chill is today. Like I was just dating her, but my chill was, I'm going to find out exactly who she is before I commit to her. So I'm not going to rush into nothing. I'm not going to, you know, say that we committed and all of that type of stuff. Nah, I need to know who you are.
He definitely didn't. So it took us a while. Like I one time I asked him, I said, you know, I have my daughter and you have your son. Let's go get pizza. And he told me, he's like, listen, I'm not ready for you to meet my family yet. And I'm like, yo,
the devil got in there again.
He definitely did. I'm talking about all up and through me. He worked, okay? He won, right? He won that battle. And I was just like, I don't know who this guy is. But every time we wouldn't talk for months, I would be physically sick. I would get physically sick. And I had never experienced anything like that in my life. It was like, I don't like this feeling. But so we went through all of those ups and downs. But it actually forced me to look at me. Right? So I've been in all these broken relationships. I've been in all these relationships that hurt me so bad to my core, where it can get me to the point to say that men are nothing. You know, I ain't dealing with men. And so instead of me taking that mindset into this relationship with him, it forced me to work on me, to really heal me inside out, you know. And so I am very grateful to him. I'm very grateful to God for even sending him and allowing him to be this honest so that I can work on me. And it wasn't me working on me for him, but me working on me so that I can be healed and a free woman and not bondage and held captive to my past.
Wow.
So it was
Tell him, baby. Get him,
baby.
Then we
fast forward to 2016.
Right.
Where you decide. Now, did you propose first?
So
like, bam, here we are.
No, it was a proposal that day, but so I knew that this was my wife early on. And so she says the proposal came when, like, I'm a touring artist. So I was touring. I was on tour for 3 months. Okay. And before I came home, I called her and said, listen, you know, let's practice celibacy when I come home. And also, let's take premarital classes.
My God, today.
So
that was a proposal to me, for real.
Right.
No man has ever said those words to me. So I was just like, oh my God, he really does love me. He wants me to be his wife. That was a proposal for me, you know.
So fast forward to
abstaining, and we going to counseling. This is it.
We made it.
So fast forward to October the 1st. I proposed to her that morning, but we had a thing called date day, and date day is when I plan the whole day, and you know she can't really say, she has no any. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And then we also have a thing called servitude, which means that she has to serve me for 24 hours.
Do whatever he says.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Say that one one more time.
Servitude.
Okay.
So I won this during a game night at a couple's game night, you know. So I won that. So I used servitude. Long story short, I told her she couldn't really.
So
she has
invoked that. So
yes.
You didn't say that. Oh.
Yeah. So I took her phone that day. It was date day. Took her to brunch. Said proposed to her in front of my family, her family, and our friends. And then I said, "Listen, I'm passing servitude on to all of these different people. You cannot ask them any questions or know nothing. Just follow them and do whatever they tell you to do." And so that's how it was set up. So we already had it set up that, you know, she gets her hair, her nails, and all of that done by the same person. Already had that set up.
Okay.
With the dress situation, we were brand ambassadors of this clothing company, and so they made it seem like she was being a model in.
So the brand ambassador made it seem like she wanted me to be the brand ambassador for the thick and curvy women.
Okay.
So we were picking out fabric. She would come to the house. He had it all set up. But what people don't know is that I also asked her to come to the house without knowing that he had did this and told her, let's start planning what we're going to wear to the courthouse. Because we had already started practicing celibacy. And I was like, look, let's plan what we're both going to wear. But she knew that what both of us were doing.
Whoever this lady is, she's good.
Yeah, she knew. So I designed my own dress, picked out the fabric, the color, and everything, not knowing it was my wedding dress.
Okay.
And so that's how the whole dress thing came about, because I designed it myself.
Let me ask you, because I know how we women are, especially as women of color. We like to be in charge.
Control.
Yes. How did you feel after he invoked the whole servitude thing, not just for himself, but for everybody else too?
I asked many questions, but you know what? My friends were very, very true to him. My family was very true. Yes, I was mad at them.
You know, don't nobody want to mess up. Don't nobody.
Listen.
You got to think about it. I give them credit for being loyal, you know, and I appreciate them. But you have to also think about it. Don't nobody want to be the one that mess up a surprise wedding. Exactly. You can mess up a birthday party, but you can't mess up no surprise wedding.
I had anxiety the whole day. Like, I was in and out the bathroom. They was just like, just chill. Like, people were just walking in the hotel room. I'm like, what is going on? Right. So they went out and they must have came up with this whole thing. Like, let's tell her it's for her engagement shoot. So they eventually just said it's for my engagement shoot to shut me up. That didn't shut me up. I'm still asking, like, what is happening?
You going down the list.
Yes.
In your head.
I'm not thinking I'm about to get married. But I knew something was happening, because the week prior to that, I felt like terrible. He'll tell you, I felt so bad. I didn't know what was going on, but I realized what was happening was I was being prepared. I was detoxing myself. The single me was dying and allowing me, like, okay, I've been preparing you to be a wife your whole life. It's about to happen. So you're going to have to go through something. And I that whole week leading up to it, I was sick. I couldn't eat, girl. I had hunger breath, the fasting breath. He would come home like,
it was horrible.
Baby, did you?
Yes. It was horrible.
Yes.
And it was throughout the whole house.
Have a breath mint on you.
Yes.
Yes. So it was a serious thing. That our whole thing, people don't realize that it was a very spiritual and emotional thing. And God worked all through that, because why was I feeling like that whole week? I kept telling him, I feel like I'm about to die. I just kept saying, I feel like I'm about to die. I don't know what's going on. And he was like, baby, you cool. But it was, the single me was dying and preparing me to be this wife.
Amazing. So now I got to go to you, Alfred.
Yes, ma'am.
About what it took, because I'm sure it had to take a whole lot of guts, you know, help, faith, you know, finance, a whole lot of stuff, to not only plan this by yourself, but to also make it a surprise wedding for the bride. So how in the world, like, did you come up with the idea by yourself?
I did. I came up with the idea by myself, but I knew that I couldn't execute it by myself. It was going to take a team of my family and friends, and her family and friends as well. To be honest with you, the process was pretty smooth. The only thing that went wrong is we were supposed to do this in one of our close friends' backyard, but that morning it rained. Actually, though, the 2 days prior to the wedding and the morning of the wedding, it was raining. So I was so nervous because I just thought that we weren't gonna pull it off. Well, my sister and my niece found a new venue for us like that day.
Wow.
That day they found the new venue. So like once that situation was clear, everything else just worked smoothly. Everything was it. Was meant to be so I think so what I say is I think that God helped us. Well, God gave us this platform and spread it across the different platforms and gave us this much attention because of the backstory, not really because of the fantasy wedding. What people don't know is the amount of work that we put in. A lot of work, and the amount of work that we're still putting in. So I think that He's given us this platform so that we can tell people, that
it's time to heal the Black community and just Black love just permeates through the entire nation and really understand, giving them the keys to forever. Like we don't have all the answers, but we do have the practical ways on how to love again and how to get over the ego tripping and really devote yourself to someone and really understand that God is getting the glory in all of this. And also it's cool to love God and put God first in your relationship. It's a cool thing. It's not, I don't want to do this and it's going to be boring. We have a great time together.
Yes, we do.
A great time
we do.
Together.
She's crazy. Awesome. She's crazy.
He's annoying.
Yes.
So I was sharing with the couple before we started the interview that when I found out about them and I'm looking at the videos of the day, something happened with my eyes. It was a little
they start sweating.
Going on. Right. She said it was eye sweat. It was. I didn't know if it was something in the vents. What was going on? I just got to crying. It was so touching. It was so beautiful. And you're right. It brought attention to your story.
Yes.
And I believe the hashtag was Forever Duncan, right?
Yes.
And so how can people learn more about you?
You can go to foreverduncan.com. You can also follow us on social media. Mine is Alfred DMC.
And mine is Sherelle, 2 R's, the trainer.
And we also wrote books. I have a book called Man Uplifting, which is available on the website as well as Amazon.
And mine is called God Made Me Wait. And it's on Amazon and also on the website as well.
So yeah, we have a lot of a lot of things.
Ain't no joke.
It's serious. It's serious.
Yes.
It's a serious thing.
Okay, it's not about you on that. Okay, so let's talk about this event that you guys are going to be at. The Night of Love with Willie Moore Jr. and Patricia Moore at the Silver Springs Civic Center. This is going to be next Friday, March 30th. I believe that's Good Friday, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
5:30 to 9:30. This is for couples and serious singles like myself who are looking to strengthen their thoughts and approach towards relationships and love. So tell us what you will be doing at this Night of Love.
Well, it's going to be set up kind of like a game night. I believe we'll be doing a panel. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be answering questions. We'll be talking about relationships. We'll be talking about how God is very important in your relationship and the importance of work. Okay. Working on your relationship and not just saying I'm married just to be married. And just know that it's not a bad thing to have to work. It's not a bad thing to have to heal. Before you even want to enter a relationship. Work on what you have to deal with you before you try to bring it, like I did, like trying to bring something into a relationship, because you may not get this man that's going to be honest with you. You may get someone that is very manipulative, and play on that brokenness that you have. So just showing you how to become free and break away from the bondage and stuff like that.
We just going to have fun.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun.
We're going to be ourselves, interact with everybody. Yeah, we love just dealing, with people in general.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Well, thank y'all so
thank
much.
you.
Now, before I let you go, what advice do you have for single folks out here like myself who are waiting on the Lord to, bring them their mate? What is your advice to them?
I think that it is very important for you to work on yourself. I think that it's very important that you ask God to show you you. Because a lot of us think that we have it together. A lot of us, my wife actually put this on Instagram the other day and be like, I'm grown and all of that. And that's a way of...
I'm too grown for this.
Yeah.
And it's like, your life shows that you're a grown person. So why do you have to continue saying I'm grown? Own your mess and fix it.
There we go.
Like, own your mess and fix it so that you're able to deal with who you are in a relationship. If you can't deal with yourself outside of a relationship, how you gonna deal with yourself in a relationship and deal with him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stay away from toxic people that glorify that toxic behavior, because we do have girlfriends that glorify that toxic behavior and allow us to sit in that mess and not tell us, girl, look, you tripping, you need to get it together. Right. Or even have a girlfriend that'll pray with you like, look, let's just pray about it. Or have that girlfriend that'll be like, look, I got this therapist, let's go to her, I'll go with her with you.
Because ain't nothing wrong with that.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. And so we need people that's going to help us with our elevation and help us with that level up, as opposed to glorifying that toxic behavior. And then we decline, or it's declining the blessing that God has for us.
And fellas, it's cool to take a back seat. My wife has taken over this interview and I love it. She is amazing.
I love you.
Funny. You all are such a cute couple. And you can literally feel the genuine love in the studio as they're talking and interacting with each other. It has been a pleasure meeting you both and
it's a pleasure with you.
Thank you.
You're very
so
pretty
much.
too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You all stay tuned for some great gospel music right here on Praise 104.1 FM.